Welcome back to Vitality Facebook Live. Dr. Sean here with Kevbo.
Hey everyone.
We are back. Last week we were both away. I think we had Jason and
Val.
last week.
Yeah.
They were filling in.
Yeah.
They did an amazing job, but we're back.
We're back.
Today we're talking about sleep. So, which is interesting because in having 2 kids in 2 years, there's not much sleep in my life. It's getting better, but so first tip: if you want to sleep well, do not have kids.
Yeah, do not have kids, especially 3 of them. So last night, that's what happened. My little one wakes up, go into her room, nightmare, calm her down, put her down, fall asleep in her bed, super uncomfortable. Get up, my oldest had a nightmare. She was in my bed. So then the third one got up and said she couldn't sleep. So it was a great night. So this is why the fatigued look today.
Yeah, and actually my wife sent me an interesting kind of a stat. It says, I think in the first 2 years of a child's life, the parents, some will argue who more than others, are deprived of at least, this is insane, up to 6 months of sleep. So within 2 years, so there's a reason why your brain doesn't work as well when you're sleep deprived.
Yeah, for sure.
And kids, right? There's a reason they suck the life out of you.
That's right.
All for good cause, all for way more positive than negatives, but definitely sleep's an issue. Don't have kids if you want to sleep well. No,
absolutely.
But seriously,
let's talk about
why is sleep important?
Sure. Well, obviously, we go with the basic common sense of recuperation. Our body requires this to kind of get back to zero and start all over again the next day. So these are tons of processes in the body that require sleep. So now, if we look at how much sleep will we need,
ideally, the average is different, right? Each person has their own physiology, their own makeup. But we're looking anywhere from 6 to 9 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're younger, sleep is even more important. You need a lot more. Then there's a phase of life when you need a little less. But sleep,
very key point, Sean. For kids, we recommend that a lot. Like a lot of people tend to not put their kids down early.
Exactly.
We do it for pure selfish reasons.
Yeah. But physiologically for your kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They require way more sleep than we do.
Yeah, a well-slept kid is a stable, healthy kid, right?
But we'll notice it. I know I'm horrible because I guess the only alone time I have is kind of like
after
at night. The kids are in bed. My wife goes to bed pretty early. So either I have a relaxed time or that's when I actually write stuff out, things I want to do and everything else. So sometimes I get carried away and then next thing you know, it's midnight and then I'm up at 5.
Which isn't good.
5 hours is really not, I can do it for a little bit and then I can feel it coming where I'm hitting a wall. So
it's basically like he's depleting his bank account, right?
Yep.
You're just withdrawing. Overdraft.
Yeah.
And then Kev's gotta invest back into that bank in order to bring it back.
That's it.
But sleep is there because it's everything physiologically beneficial that happens to the body actually happens during sleep at rest, right?
So all your organs, there's a very specific, I don't know if you guys can see it on our chart in the back, but there's a very specific, I have it here actually.
Oh, perfect. This is really cool because this is based on thousands of years of observing the body and the meridians of the body.
So you're going to see a kind of backwards, obviously, because of the camera, but so there's a circadian rhythm that happens during a 24-hour cycle where organs will have particular functioning during a 2-hour period during the day and or
peaks,
night.
Kind of peak functioning, not necessarily they're not working in the opposite. But there's flow, right?
It's like energy flow would be intensified in certain areas of the body during certain specific times. So that's why we ask people sometimes when they're in and they're telling us, I wake up at night all the time. And they say,
3 o'clock.
What time? Yeah. So then, depending on the time they tell us, we could say, that's the lung or that's the liver. So it would bring us to look at something potentially that's happening there that's waking them up during that cycle.
Yeah, or structures associated with that region of the body, right? With that meridian of the body. So it's a useful tool.
This is why too we get thrown off from traveling.
Yes.
jet lag.
Yeah, because you're
Going to
depending
other
on
time
where
zones.
you are with respect to the sun, to daylight and night, these rhythms or these meridians, right, are the cycle. The energy is flowing through them at specific times in the day.
Yeah.
So when you travel, obviously the healthier you are, the easier your body adapts to that travel, and you get onto that cycle, right? But if you're not healthy, right, then it's hard to overcome that jet lag.
Totally.
So yeah,
A lot of people,
sleep.
just like some key points, like people go, oh, well, why do I need that much sleep? People trying to lose weight, very, very important to have adequate amounts of sleep. Adrenal functioning, like we've done those on the pineal gland, the adrenal glands. Sleep is very, very important.
Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out those videos, check them out. They're really, really. It's important to have your adrenals assessed or evaluated if you have lots of stress in your life or whatnot, and your pineal gland. If you're having trouble sleeping, have that assessed as well.
So speaking of that, then what could be some things, Sean, that could affect the quality of someone's sleep?
So one of the big things, actually, I just listened to an interesting podcast on is the EMF. EMF stands for electromagnetic field. So this is actually pretty scary because these are the things we don't even see, right? So this is an extra Wi-Fi and all the static that's given off by all the electrical wiring,
so dirty electricity,
cell phone
basically.
towers, and all this dirty electricity, all this stuff that you or we can't physically see it.
We're actually seeing more and more people that are sensitive to that now.
Oh, because it's
increasing.
It's ridiculous how much there is, and I think we're just starting to scratch the surface. So there's being a lot of research done on this stuff and the effects neurologically on our body, which can be huge, right? They can disrupt like we talked about, the meridians in our body. So the cycle, the flow, they can disrupt hormone imbalances. All can be influenced by that EMF. So what we suggest is cell phones too, right? Turn your phone on airplane mode because it's awful. Most people put it next to their bed and they use it as an alarm, right? Which is okay.
I do that.
I do as well, but put it on airplane mode when you go to bed. No one needs to get in touch with you, right? Put it on airplane mode because imagine, usually it's near your head.
And your alarm will work in airplane
mode. Your alarm still works.
Someone asked me that the other day. I said, oh, no, I don't do that because I want the alarm to go off. I said, well, it has nothing to do with the alarm. The alarm will go. The clock's still going. It's just you can't receive
the inflow, outflow of messages. So shut the Wi-Fi off in your house, right? That's an amazing way to help with quality and hopefully then quantity of sleep.
There's a lot more research too on that and the effect on kids.
And
their temperament and attention and things like that. So
a few years back, they were putting Wi-Fi in all the schools, right?
Yeah.
And they removed it. Right. Yeah. This is, it's so funny how, there's no fluoride in kids' toothpaste. That's the whole other subject. There's no this, there's no that. They make sure that all the best quality organic foods for babies and stuff. But then as we start to grow up, they're like, oh yeah, you can handle it.
You can handle that garbage.
No, it's actually bad. So we want to reduce it as much as possible. So, some people even go to the extremes as you can get these EMF reducing outlets, right? So, and there's actually ways of testing to see how your house is actually wired up to see if it actually gives off a lot of dirty
we had
electricity.
I had a patient. We had in my office. I had a small little heater, and I had a patient that was in that has epileptic seizures. And that patient, as soon as the heater came on, I could see in his face like he wasn't feeling well. And he said, "What went off?" And I said, "Oh, it's the little heater in the corner." He goes, "Oh, you mind if we turn it off?" And he had a meter in his pocket because he's so used to checking things, and it was like off the chart.
So we are all circuits, these devices. Right? We are energy. Our body is energy, and it's circuits, right? Our axons, right? These are messages that are sent in our nervous system. All your cells are polarized, right? And there's ionization in all the cells in our life force of our body. So this dirty energy, it affects. And it's it's one thing to turn a blind eye to it, but it's actually there. So
another one. Big one would be, if we're talking adrenals and everything else too, is caffeine.
Caffeine, that's a really good tip. So avoid...
if you're having caffeine in the morning, and I have tons of patients where we educate them on past that morning period, don't touch that. Especially if they're in phases where they're not sleeping well. You're by having the caffeine, you're actually telling your body to stay awake. You're delaying the
natural rhythm,
the decrease of cortisol in the body.
Exactly.
So then your melatonin can't kick in to make you go to bed.
Cortisol should be high in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And low at night. But like he's saying, you just mess all that up. So
Yeah.
no coffee. Some experts say no coffee after 3. I'd even kick it back, no coffee after
Around
11.
noon. Yeah.
11 or noon.
Yeah.
And if you're really good, no coffee at all. But I'm not there yet. So with 2 young kids, I like coffee. So that's a good tip. So no caffeine.
So those are two big stressors about that.
Yeah, we said Wi-Fi. We said EMF. Now this is a really good one because this is kind of works into those things. But these phones and iPads and all this, the computer screens.
So like all the visual
blue light,
yeah.
visual stimulation. It actually decreases your ability to secrete melatonin. So at least a couple hours is hard to do for most in our digital technological world, but at least 2 to 3 hours before bedtime, right? Decrease or stop watching Netflix on your iPad, right? Especially in your bed. So that's lead us to like actually just kind of common bed things to help us sleep.
Read a book.
Yeah. So go back to like.
I can't get past a page when I'm reading.
So start to reduce the crazy lights you have in your house. Start to put on some natural candlelight and some things, natural light like a fireplace. These are all things that start to trigger your brain and say, oh, okay, it's time to go to bed, right? Yeah. Instead of being like this till you were like, oh, I gotta go to sleep, and then you wonder why you can't fall asleep. Right. So in your room, right, start to set the mood a little bit. But
might work for other things too.
It might work for other things. So your room should be exactly for that. It should be for a little bit of fun or sleeping. It shouldn't be for watching TV. It shouldn't be for anything crazy, stressful before.
Well, good
before
point.
bed.
Because I know a lot of patients ask, even speaking of in the bedroom, is meditating. But you got to think like your brain is so structured that when you lie down, that is made for sleeping. So a lot of I can't get through to a whole meditation because I always fall asleep. I said, don't do it in your bed lying down.
You can do breathing exercise or exercises to decompress.
Sure, yeah.
Right, but but if you're trying to reach a nice level of consciousness, it's probably not the best place to do it. So we said in the bed, blackout blinds, right? Make sure it's dark.
Yeah.
It's dark. That actually will help your quality of sleep.
I think a big one too is on the mental side is work out your crap. Like
that's huge.
So stuff either happening during that day and or things that are lingering that you haven't dealt with. Yeah. Deal with them.
Write it down. Write it out on a journal. We talk about this time. Have like a little journal next to you. Think something bother you, write it out.
Yeah.
Dump it out of the brain.
Yeah. Punch a pillow. Whatever you need to do.
Unplug the alarm clock. That fluorescent blowing alarm clock. That is awful, right? Because what are you going to do? Inevitably, you're just going to check it, right? You're having trouble falling asleep. Then that's just a vicious cycle. Plus, it's not good for the light. Surface, sleep position. We're going to talk. Val and I are going to talk about that next week about posture when sleeping because that's super important, right? We spend a third of our lifetime sleeping. So that's very important. If you're sleeping in a shitty position, not good for your biomechanics.
Absolutely.
Not good for your quality or your quantity of sleep. So like we say, in the room, right? You want dark. You want to limit any type of TV, stimulus, right? It should be
probably the worst place to have a TV is in your bedroom.
Is in your bedroom. It's awful. And if your kids have TVs in their room, get rid of it. Get out of it. It's so
rats.
It's terrible. Let's see what else we got. We got. Okay. Let's recap. So, sleep is there to recharge, rebuild, refuel.
Well, an essential component of life to keep your body in check, right? Like if we don't have adequate amounts of sleep, it will pile up quickly. When you're younger, you can deal with it better, but ultimately, we can't get around it.
It's just like we say, it's just like stealing from your bank account until you're overdraft and you're going to crash, right? Yeah. So sleep, actually, funny thing, right? Most accidents, when do they happen? In the morning, right? When people are sleep at the wheel, right? There's a huge statistics about accidents in the morning. Super busy, people are exhausted, overtired, underslept, and they crash, right?
Yeah.
So you want to, this is a tip one. So you want to increase your exposure to daylight. Remember, we didn't talk about that. We talked about this in our Pineal Gland podcast or Facebook Live, but if you can get out during the day and get some daylight and walk around and exercise and actually it will stimulate through the receptors of your eyes, it'll stimulate that cascade of the eventual melatonin release. So daylight, sunlight is so good. So don't stay inside all day.
Good for the head too.
It's good for the head. Exactly.
Yeah. So then we said
target. What are you
the
trying to
reasons
target?
why the reasons why we can't sleep. So we know the caffeine, we know the EMFs, the all that jazz. So limit all that stuff. And then
adrenals, right? Have your adrenals looked at.
Yeah.
Have your pineal gland looked at. Any type of pain, maybe it's physical pain that's preventing you from sleeping in a position. Come see one of us, right? We can address that. We can help you with that.
Which also causes a stress on the adrenals, which can decrease your sleep. So
that's
why a lot of people that are in pain have that issue.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, what can we do to have a better sleep? Well, like you said, set the stage. Like have the no light in the room, no TV,
and have in your mind have a consistent bedtime, consistent nighttime routine. Yeah. So try and get to bed every night at 10 o'clock. Try and get to bed every night at 9:30. Try and get to bed, right? It's consistency that's key. Because if you have that routine, it's easy to do it.
And it is around that 10-ish hour that you want to aim for. Those are like the more recuperative hours from 10 to is it midnight?
Yeah, because you start to get into like the detox organs of the body, right?
Yeah.
And like we talked about with that 24-hour cycle. There's a reason, right, why this is the way it is. And I mean, guys, if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys have any some sleep tips for us, we'd love to hear them. We'd love to hear your questions and comments. If there's anything you thought we didn't cover that you guys, you're like, wow, this works for me. We're always open to learning. But sleep is very, very, very important.
Yeah.
I know that saying, I'll sleep when I'm dead, is probably very,
I've said that too.
Yeah, like I've said it when I was younger, but it is not a very good thing.
No.
Because
you'll just be dead earlier.
Exactly. Exactly. So the importance of both quality and quantity.
Yeah.
Check out our Facebook Live videos. You can share these videos with a friend. Anyone who's interested in finding out more about us, they can find us on our Facebook page, vitalitytherapy.ca.
Yeah,
that's our website.
Yeah, and please send in any requests too. We'd love to cover some topics that you guys want to hear.
Yeah, and we
I don't know when our first kind of roundtable thing is.
Okay, it's coming. Next week we're gonna do it's March break. I'm here, Val, the incredibly talented and skillful VPH, Valerie Parent-Houle, will be here with me.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about sleep. We're going to, hey Jody, how are you? We're going to be talking about sleep mechanics, so posture and how to actually set yourself up for a good night's sleep to avoid pain and whatnot. So it's awesome. We love doing these videos. Big public shout out to Stephanie Gafour. She's been an amazing part of our team for a long time, and she's now on a new journey. We love and support her, and we're gonna miss her.
Good luck, Steph.
And all of our patients will as well.
Yeah.
And so we had a little Sanka set for her last night, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was sad a little bit.
But
we're super excited for her, and she will definitely probably be checking, whether she wants to or not. She'll probably be checking up on us, make sure we're doing things right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
all right,
thank
guys.
you. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week.
Talk soon.